You know, AI is one of the most powerful tools we've ever built. But with all that power comes a huge question. How do we actually make sure we can trust it? Today, we're going to look at Australia's really smart blueprint for how to do just that. Let's get into it.
I mean, this technology is moving so fast, it feels like it's in everything now, from our phones to our doctor's offices. So the real challenge isn't just about making AI more powerful, it's about making it safe. How in the world do you put guardrails on something that's evolving faster than we can even talk about it?
For a while, the answer was, well, it was mostly about having good intentions, high-level ethical ideals. But that's just not cutting it anymore. The whole idea behind Australia's approach is this massive shift away from just hoping AI is used responsibly to demanding hard, auditable proof that it actually is.
And honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it, right? You would never build a skyscraper based on some vague suggestion to build safely. No way. You'd use a super detailed, enforceable building code. Well, that's exactly the logic being applied to AI here. It's about creating a real, robust control system, not another policy doc that just gathers dust on a shelf.
So how do you actually turn that building code idea into something real? Well, it all starts with a simple, repeatable process, a 5-step safety plan that you can use for pretty much any AI project.
And here they are. It's a really clear, easy-to-remember sequence. Check, control, explain, monitor, and prove. This whole process is designed to take an AI system from just an idea all the way to operating responsibly out in the real world. So let's break down what each of these really means.
First up, you check. This is just the common sense starting line. Before anyone writes a single line of code, you have to ask the big questions. Should we even be using AI for this? And maybe even more important, what's the potential impact this could have on actual people? It's all about being intentional right from the get-go.
Okay, so once you decide to go ahead, you've got to establish control. This is where you actually build the guardrails. You assign a specific person who is on the hook for it, you set crystal clear rules for data and security, and you create these hard checkpoints for approval. No gray areas, just clear lines of who owns what.
And this is the point where, the Chief Information Security Officer, the CISO, steps in and starts asking those really tough questions. It's not just about what the AI can do, but what could go horribly wrong? How could our data get out? What's our game plan if someone tries to attack the model? You absolutely have to have answers for this stuff.
Next up, explain. This one is all about transparency. Simple as that. If an AI system is going to affect people's lives, they have a right to understand how. That means you've got to be totally upfront about how it's being used, what it's bad at, and as best you can, the logic it's using. No more black boxes. Now, just because you launch the AI doesn't mean the work is done. Not even close. Step 4 is to monitor. You have to watch this thing like a hawk. Is it doing what you expected? Is the quality holding up? And super important, is its behavior starting to drift or change in weird ways? This is active, hands-on management, day in and day out. And finally, the last step, which might just be the most important one, prove. This takes us right back to that big shift from good intentions to hard evidence. You got to keep the receipts for everything, every decision, every approval, every test, it all gets logged, creating this undeniable audit trail. So that's the 5-step process. Pretty logical, right? But a framework is only useful if it actually works in the real world. So let's look at how this system is designed to be practical and proportionate to the actual risks involved.
So, the official government guidance is nicknamed AI6, and this breaks it down into plain English. See, these aren't some complicated legal rules. They're just straightforward principles. Name an owner, understand the impact, manage the risk, be open about how it works, test and monitor, and, this one's huge, always make sure a human can jump in and take over.
And here is how you make those rules proportionate. It's called risk tiering, and it's brilliant. For something low risk, like an internal tool that just summarizes documents, the controls are pretty light. But as the stakes get higher, the guardrails get a lot stronger. If an AI is helping with project decisions, well, you're going to need approvals and a human review. And for something really high impact, like hiring decisions, you're talking a full audit, fairness tests, and a human has to have the final veto, period. This all sounds great in theory, right? But the whole point of this is to actually put AI to work safely and get real value out of it. So how does this whole framework go from being a bunch of rules to something that actually gets stuff done?
Well, it starts with an actual plan. This 90-day timeline shows you a clear path from zero to a real decision. The first month is all about getting the governance set up.
The second month, you're getting a couple of small, controlled pilot projects ready. And in that third month, you run the pilots, you measure the results, and you make a real data-backed decision. Do we scale this or do we shut it down?
And what do you get for all this hard work? Real, tangible value. By building these systems the right way, you can unlock some incredible new capabilities. You can create bids and proposals way faster with an AI copilot, get instant answers from a massive knowledge base, or even get early warnings about project risks. See, safety doesn't slow you down. It actually lets you move faster with confidence.
And hey, remember that last step, prove? This is what it actually looks like. For any big AI system, there's something called an evidence pack. It's basically a folder with around 8 key documents, stuff like the risk assessment, the security review, the test reports, that all come together to prove the system is doing what it's supposed to.
Because this is the ultimate test, right? Sooner or later, an auditor is going to walk in and ask the hardest questions. This entire framework is designed so you can answer them, just like that. You can point to the exact person who approved it, the risk assessment that everyone signed off on, the controls that are running right now, and, most importantly, the evidence pack that proves all of it.
So, Australia's framework gives us a really compelling blueprint for how to build trust with proof, not just promises. It shifts the whole conversation from abstract ideas to concrete, real-world controls, and it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. As this technology gets deeper and deeper into our lives, what is the one single most important rule you think all AI should have to follow?